What's up, guys? We're going to do another Articat video today, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you some belt options. We're going to show you how to set up and shim your back clutch, and we're also going to show you how to change the belt. If you're a new Crossfire owner or you never had to change your belt before, you'll know how after you watch this video. Most of the old traditional sleds, you can, manhandle that back sheath open and pop this belt off no trouble at all. But this newer gear, a little more spring tension, feller doesn't quite have it into him to push that back and wrestle that belt off in a situation. So what we got to do is we got to back this bolt off first of all. Keeping the clutch in the spline, you don't want to pull the clutch off, you just want to pop this thing. When you pop this off, you take this washer and you flip it around backwards. You put your bolt back in, and it now acts as a pusher to open your clutch. So as I'm tightening it, you'll see the sheath is moving and the belt's falling down into the clutch. And you want to tighten this probably all the way. You don't want to over tighten it. You just use it to simply spread the sheath instead of doing it with your hand. And once you get her to the point you think you can do it, now to put it back on, it's a little bit of a procedure. It's not just take the bolt out and go. Because when you put it in like this, your belt is down in your sheath. So if you just take that bolt out, it'll jam, and the first time you take off, you could potentially do some belt damage. So here's what I do. As I'm backing this bolt out, I just keep backspinning my belt. And then you just simply stick her back in and go. So, belt options. Belt options, I've run them all. I run the Articat ones. Very, very overpriced. I think the dealership's upwards almost $300 now for a belt for one of these machines. Wouldn't you know, it jammed up. Myself personally, I prefer to deal with Royal Distributing. They're a Canadian company. They have great products, great prices. So I have been running the Dayco high performance belts as opposed to the Articat 0627060. These Dayco belts are much more affordable. You can buy pretty much two for the price of one, and they last just as long, if not longer, than the factory cat ones. The only issue is they are a touch wider. And generally when you go to a high performance belt, they usually are. So, so when you're shimming your clutch, you want your belt just at the cooling vents basically, and you don't get the very last bit doing the backspin. It always jams onto you. It's just how it is. But at least when you got it here, you're not going to have that boggy takeoff and potentially put a burn spot in your new belt that you just changed. So that's a good procedure. When it comes to shimming, if you look at this piece right here, your washer, it has an O-ring and it has a spacer that's just kind of floating. A lot of times, especially if your sled's never been tampered with, there will be numerous spacers. You'll see mine's kind of thick, but on a lot of them there will be numerous thin ones. You can get these from the dealership. I'm not sure the part number, but this is the shim that determines how wide your sheath is when you've got this all together and the bolt's tight. So running the wider belt, I had to remove a few of these shims to get the belt to ride properly on the back clutch. So if you find like the cat belts are a bit narrower and machines aren't always set up properly, and it's easy for that washer to get torn and for those to fall off and just get lost, sometimes they might be stuck in this inner lip depending on the sled, but those are what determines how wide the sheath is when the bolt is completely tight. And you definitely want to make sure this bolt is tight. You don't go crazy on it with a bar or nothing. It is only a 14 mil bolt, which if you have an Arctic Cat, myself, I always keep a 14 in my pocket. Fits most of the bolts on the track, and if you're ever in a jam, it's pretty much the most valuable tool you can have. So if you're still watching and you're enjoying the video, hopefully you hit subscribe for me. I want to show you another great product, because I actually built this clutch myself. I bought all the parts and pieces, and I built this clutch quite a few years ago now, and it's still not showing any bad signs or bad wear. But when I assembled it, Arctic Cat has these rock hard rollers available instead of those really soft clear plastic ones. And you'll know if you've done this job that reassembling one of these back clutches and dealing with all these pins is a pretty in-depth procedure. And I mean, same deal as like building the front clutch. It's a pretty bad procedure compared to, you know, the power block that I did a video on earlier. But what I did was I used the stock helix, bought a new spring. I put an extra Teflon washer in, so this spring is even a hair stronger. But my sled is modified, so if you've seen the other videos, the information's on there. But this clutch has a lot of miles on it, guys, like probably 4,000, and very, very hard ones, very aggressive driving. And I haven't touched the thing, and every single roller on it looks great. Nothing broke or let go. But in today's world, it does pay to do things yourself if you have the knowledge to do so. So that's my back clutch for you on the Arctic Cat, the M series, Crossfire, F series. This style clutch, that's how you change your belt, that's how you adjust it, set it up. And yeah, I really would only recommend the Cat belt or the Dayco belt. I wouldn't recommend any cheap stuff on the higher horsepower sleds. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it helps you out. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button for me if you would. It'd be great. Everybody enjoy your day.